Thank you so much for being here today because we are going to be reviewing classic auto insurance. We're going to be reviewing what it is and how it helps, and even ways to find affordable insurance options, which super quick, if you've never used autoinsurance.org before, it's a great way to get free auto insurance quotes. All you have to do is put in your zip code and you're going to be able to compare quotes from multiple insurance companies immediately. So just a fun little thing to do before you are looking into potentially buying a new car or just wanting to shop what's on the market. So let's dive into classic car insurance and see if it's something that will be able to help you. So classic auto insurance is going to depend on the type of vehicle you have. There are certain requirements. The type of vehicle you purchase or you already own, if you've got something super fun sitting in your garage and you're just looking to get a little bit more insurance on it. But effectively, classic car insurance is going to cover some of the vehicles that are a little bit older. So typically, a classic car is something a lot of people might call it a vintage vehicle, but I know that's something a little bit different in the auto insurance world. So it just depends on the age of the vehicle, the condition of the vehicle, and where you've purchased the vehicle. And there are so many different types of vehicles that you can get classic car insurance for. So it just, again, kind of depends on the type of vehicle that you have, or whether or not it falls into like the age requirements for it. Couple of other things that we have in this super cool article here. Does your car qualify for classic auto insurance? You'll be able to see other requirements, not just age, but if you scroll down a little bit, it'll show that it needs to be in good condition and have low mileage, not necessarily the mileage itself on the car, but there are requirements in the insurance itself. So for example, there are going to be auto insurance companies that will require you to drive the vehicle a certain amount of miles or less each year. For example, if you go to, let's say, Allstate, and the requirement is that you drive your vehicle 5,000 miles or less. At first, that might not seem like a lot, but if you have a classic car that you're only taking out during good weather, that might only be a couple of months out of the whole year. The rest of the time, the car might be sitting either in your garage or, safely tucked away, in the driveway under a nice cozy cover. But it's going to be something that you're going to want to discuss with your auto insurance company, no matter who you're looking into. Which brings us into why do you need classic car insurance? And it's generally because classic cars are going to be different than standard vehicles. If you have an import or a vehicle that is older, sourcing parts might be a little bit more complicated. Mechanics might not be too familiar with what's under the hood, and that's already so complicated enough that you want to make sure that if anything happens, your car is going to be covered. Which is why shopping around, comparing quotes from different auto insurance companies is super important, and just kind of looking into who offers like affordable coverage. So for example, if we take a look at some insurance companies that sell classic auto insurance, you're going to see that there are larger names on there like Allstate, Geico, Liberty Mutual, and you'll be able to compare quotes. This is where autoinsurance.org comes in handy, because if you go back to that little quote box, all you have to do is type in your zip code and you're going to be able to get quotes from those other companies, and you'll be able to compare them in one spot versus having to do everything on your own, take notes, or create a table. It's all done for you. Again, you just pop in your zip code and you'll be able to compare everything almost immediately. So super fun and easy way to take a look at what the options are for you and what's available in terms of coverage. Now, if you're wondering why you might want to compare quotes, it's because different companies are going to have different criteria for what makes a classic car and also what comes included in your car insurance. So for example, if you take a look over here, there are clarifying distinctions, classic cars versus show cars, what vehicles are eligible for, classic car insurance coverage. So let's take a look at that. So we already looked at this article over here is the Does My Car Qualify for Classic Car Insurance? Super helpful. But effectively, this list here is going to show you what types of vehicles are going to qualify. So if you have an antique car or like a custom vehicle, muscle cars, imports, anything being restored, or anything being modified. So if you're super into making that vehicle your own, then it might qualify for classic car insurance coverage. And you can kind of see here in this little quote here that the classic car insurance is going to offer that specialized coverage that might not come with standard car insurance, which is going to be super helpful, again, if you're only driving this vehicle, a certain amount of miles or during a certain time period. Your classic car cannot be your main vehicle, because that main vehicle is the one that you're driving every day, to and from work or the store, or, just taking a cruise. That is going to require different insurance than a classic car that's going to only see, a certain amount of miles or a certain amount of days even. Like, you might keep it in the garage on rainy days, and that's totally fine. But then you may only want coverage that's going to protect it while it's in the garage on those days, which is why auto insurance companies look at classic cars a little bit differently than average vehicles. And this is where you're going to get into what affects classic car insurance rates. So the things that affect classic car insurance rates are going to include the vehicle itself. So again, age comes into play here. Where the vehicle is from, like, was it imported? Where did you buy the vehicle? And also how much coverage you want. If you are only planning on driving it a certain amount of miles, or you just want it protected while it's sitting safe and sound in your garage, but let's say you live somewhere where the weather is horrendous and you're a little bit worried, even though it's going to be covered in the garage, that's where that classic car insurance is going to come in handy. And also it's going to depend on like how much of that coverage you want. That will tell you how much you're going to pay for it. And also let's go into the fact that, your personal information is also going to affect what you pay. So where you're located, your driving record, how many vehicles you own, if you have an entire fleet, that might, weirdly enough, end up saving you money, because the more vehicles you have, you can bundle insurance, and a lot of car insurance companies love it when you bundle coverage together. So if you have, a couple of different classic cars, you might be able to find a deal because that specific insurance company that you're going through is going to want to cover all of them. So it's really important to shop around, know how much coverage you want for your vehicle, know the requirements from the insurance companies that you're looking into, whether or not they have, age restrictions, or if they, only they require you to drive the vehicle, a certain amount of miles. And if they agree on the value of your vehicle as well, chances are you're going to have to submit the proof of purchase so that the agreed upon value. But it's really simple to find classic car insurance quotes, especially if you're using autoinsurance.org. You can enter in your zip code, get insurance quotes from multiple companies at the same time instantly. You can compare them and figure out which company is going to suit the needs of your classic car, which company is going to let you drive it as much or as little as possible and keep it protected for the moments where you do have it on the road. And if you also are interested in looking at different types of auto insurance, because now maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's so many different types of auto insurance available, I need to know more. We do also have a video on the types of auto insurance, and it comes with visuals if you're a visual learner just like me. And so I think that is a great thing to look into. And also just making sure that you are comfortable with the classic car insurance that you end up with, because you want to protect the vehicle that you may or may not have spent quite a bit of money and effort on. So definitely just compare your choices and make sure you get some quotes, and just have fun with it, because vehicles can be so fun and rewarding, and they definitely deserve to be protected as much as possible. So hopefully this video helps you understand a little bit more what classic car insurance covers and what it is, and whether or not you might need it now or in the future. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.